Let's take a look, Steve.
All right, so there's a new study coming out of Queen University in Canada that's saying marijuana use is tied to significantly higher levels of sexual arousal and desire. So people are smoking and they're getting sexy. So it turns out that the more people use marijuana, the more sex they want to have, the more they want to get down. And on days, so the study said on days that they're actually, getting lucky, they're doing the deed, they were more turned on when they had some THC in their system than on days where they did not. It also says it helps with sexual distress, which, can be anything from anxiety about kind of doing the thing up to, problems with pain or discomfort around arousal. And a lot of people said that one of the main reasons that they smoked they used cannabis was to kind of enhance the sexual experience, right? So this is kind of going in the face of, alcohol being the thing.
So how do you feel about that personal experience?
How do I feel? I feel like absolutely. Well,
first of all, I've always
Steve dancing and shit.
The little Lebowski thing comes on.
I think it brings up a bigger point. The bigger point is that is cannabis an enhancer of some sort? And I've always believed it was. I go back to some of my early days playing tennis, and I would smoke before I played, and I would be in a zone like you would not imagine. And so, I just don't. I think it enhances you. Like people worry about driving under the influence of cannabis, where I don't necessarily think it degrades your capabilities.
Well, go ahead.
No. I think. There's a lot of anecdotal, like athletes saying that it enhances them, like even in contact sports, football and MMA and that type of thing. There's a lot of people who use it either in recovery or before or during, or and always say that it's one of the things they use to enhance it. It wouldn't shock me that THC has some sort of effect here of either sexual desire or arousal in use before, during, after some sort of sexual activity, if we were to find that, especially if it's patient-reported information saying that, hey, like when I use it, I get a lot more aroused, or, beforehand, I use it, some sort of cannabis product a half hour before some sort of sexual arousal, and it lengthens it or heightens it. I wouldn't be shocked if patients are reporting that. I wonder how many people they talk to and how many like male versus female and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was not in the article.
That'd be interesting.
I think, without the research behind it, just personal experience with it, I think it's a feeling. You get high, you're feeling good, have some drinks. It's a mood, puts you in a nice mood. And to me, I think it does, make you more sexual.
Well, the article also said it's only low levels of THC that do this. If you go too high, it kind of knocks you out. So it was saying that if you're getting high as a kite, you kind of lose the effect of it.
It says 5 or 10 milligram things are good. I told you.
It's kind of like what I was saying
just like
before,
alcohol, right?
No, like we were talking about earlier, that there's, if this was studied more, there's going to be that happy mix of medium that you would eventually find. Like if you were to do a study of like 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 milligrams of THC or something, like I'm assuming there's going to be like a happy medium of like most people, like there's a bell curve.
Right.
Involved,
this is where most people
like most people 5 or 10 mixed with the CBD and this and that, taking it around this time before sex happened, found the highest curve of things. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if
you can have 2 beers, you're fine. You drink
there's
8,
that
you
kind
pass
of
out before the act.
Right. So there's that. I'm sure there's a happy medium there that you would find, or types of products. I'm wondering if they mentioned, did everyone smoke, or was it edibles, or was it vaping, or mixed? It was just like anybody who took cannabis beforehand, and what kind of like questions.
Who did this
It
study?
was a research group at a Queen University. So I think it was a student. I guess you would know more about that process. Yeah.
Hey, Mary Jane, we're talking about a study out of Queen
University.
Queen University about marijuana use's significantly higher sexual desire and arousal. Are you familiar with this study?
Oh, that sounds like an interesting study. I haven't read that specific one, but there have definitely been some studies out there suggesting that cannabis can influence sexual desire and arousal. What did you find interesting about it?
Well, we were curious on what you think the reason that is. Do you feel that cannabis is a performance enhancer, or what's your opinion on this?
I think a lot of people report that cannabis can help them relax and reduce anxiety, which can definitely contribute to feeling more comfortable and maybe even more in the mood. It's interesting how it can affect people differently, but I think that relaxation factor is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Could you pull that article back up real quick?
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Just, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming there's probably a hot link if you go down, I would assume somewhere in the article it'll say like a study out of, and then usually they would like highlight or hot link the actual article somewhere. And if not, it might be like cited somewhere before, because you might be able to like click it and go straight to the article.
It does say Queen's University in Canada. I'll continue to go down and see if we see
1,500 candidates.
It depends on the who wrote the article and stuff. Sometimes they have it cited, and sometimes it just like.
Well, there's a link when it says the new report. The report part's linked.
Click on it real quick.
I can't.
Don't worry about it. Because if reports hot linked, it might bring you straight to the DLI.
And I think this is like everything else. Depends on the person.
There's the actual
you
study.
said the amount, the person.
That's the actual article. That's the published study.
Oh, there it is. Okay, hey, you got it.
Mixed methods investigation of a relationship between cannabis and sexual functioning using incentive motivation models. Cool. So this is the actual published paper.
Right.
Check that. Okay.
Yeah. So I always try to encourage people, like if there's an article someone writes,
read
click it, and it should bring you right to the thing, and then you can kind of like. Someone wrote an article about this article.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm assuming if you read through this, you may not agree with exactly how that article.
It's someone else. I don't know who wrote the article.
Marijuana Moment wrote it.
Sorry, this is like what I do. So go down to results, if you don't mind. There should. I don't know. Actually, you know what? You might only be able to see the abstract because this might not be open access, meaning that you have to have a university or some sort of like Queen University link, affiliation, or sometimes if you have any other like different types of access to it. So depends on the journal or publication they published it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's open access, meaning the public can see it, and sometimes you have to be like a subscriber to this medical journal or part of one of the universities on the list. So it might just be the abstract.
That's what I would imagine. Yeah.
But that's what it looks like here. But I just want to be like, oh, is this like published data yet, or is it like, hey, like these are our preliminary results?
Right.
But it looks like it's a published piece, which is good. So.
Right.
Is there a date? I can't really see from here if there's a date involved in the publication. I'm just out of curiosity. Sorry.
Date on the left side right there, 6/2/2025.
Okay, it's cool. So it's a new.
recent,
It's a recent, because sometimes it's they're like, oh, the study out of it, and you see
And it was
it's
like
what's this
2015.
It's just like what? Yeah, it's like
They had
from
when they had no
2012,
idea.
And they were using swag. And they were using swag.
Yeah, exactly. So just because that's the thing too. It's like we know over years the products people are using are stronger and changing and
Yes,
everything. So that's why I was just wondering, like is it new? Are they using new products?
Right.
Or is it
right.
we don't know?
Kind of poke the holes in there.
But yeah, that's it. I'm sure it's a super interesting. And it sounded like you said it was like 1,500 people or something like that.
1,547.
So that's a good. That's a good. It's one thing if you talk to 20 people walking out of a dispensary or something, rather than 1,500 people. So it was like it's a decent population of people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it might say like, oh, online survey study. We sent people emails and we got 12 respondents, and it's like and they'll write that in the discussion saying we didn't get a lot of people and blah blah blah. But it seemed like they talked to a lot of people, so it's just good. That's a good.
So it included two separate studies, an online survey of 1,500 people.
And mixed methods,
as well as a 28-day diary analysis of 115 people.
There's your mixed method. Okay.
So
Nice.
Very interesting.
Nice. And having you here to help us understand this is
that's
actually
never
quite a
cracked into
pleasure.
this,
So
you
thank
know?
you for not leaving.
No. I'm happy to. Like, I like as far as obviously cannabis education is my thing, but general science literacy is, I think, just an important piece that
Well, that kind of drives it all, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the same thing
method.
when like people will hear, I don't know, a clip of something on TikTok of like, don't eat almonds because of whatever. And it's like, well, I don't know, should I eat it? And then you might look up something and there's, I don't know, either someone on TikTok or YouTube talking about it with some title you never heard of.
Well, that's the problem. Now. Everybody's
an expert.
Everybody has their own damn show. They got their own forum. Everybody got shit to say.
And with cannabis, it's specifically hard because because how many studies are there that did exactly that? So
Like,
it's hard
maybe
to
none.
Maybe that's the first one
To
within the last
elaborate.
year
Ever.
that did it,
Or ever.
right?
Yeah, and this
Or-
day
or,
and time, like you can't even being a bullshit and a liar doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right, and if this
You know,
looked at
it's
so
okay
many
to be a
people.
liar and a bullshitter.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and if this, I don't know, just say if we looked into it and it was only 18 to 30-year-olds,
Yeah.
and they got a wide variety of races and genders and where people live. Cool. Well, what about 35 to 50-year-olds?
Right.
So so it's that
lot
kind of
of
thing that you can say like, oh, like cannabis helps. Like this is
Yeah.
on the pile of
How
research
are
that
you
cannabis
looking at
helps
it?
sexual
Yeah.
arousal.
Yeah.
But how many more studies do we need to do to really find again that bell curve of like the information we need to know?
Yeah.
It's
So-
just a
Yeah,
clearer
you,
picture.
yeah,
of
you
it. So
70
it's
years
just-
old, smoke some weed, pass out. You ain't
Right.
gonna have no pussy
and
for the next
and
2
it's the same
years.
thing. We might find that 5 milligrams is good for X, Y, and Z for this population, but this population really needs 10 to get the same effect. I don't know. Who's to say? But that's what I think. It's
You said earlier we're in the prehistoric ages of cannabis
sure.
research.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like you said,
because
it's
there's
just a
new
drop in the
methods
pond.
being come, and then again, like because products change all the time,
Products
those are
change.
getting stronger or just different or from different places and whatever. So again, it's like you might have to redo certain studies because you're like, oh well, we didn't really look at it with this way, or it was only looked at edibles. Well, what about combustion, like smoking
Yeah.
it? Or vice versa.
Because there's a big difference.
That's it, and how it metabolize. Everything is different. So,
Right.
and the same thing with vaping or tinctures or creams or So
Yeah.
I found so much of the research that I've seen just in news articles, just especially when it goes to cannabis health. So much of their research is based on just the past 30 years of cannabis use, and that's
Yep.
been primarily smoking.
exactly.
100%, because it's been illegal, so we haven't had the option, really, very little option of consuming it in different ways. So this is the study of
I mean,
smoking
frankly,
cannabis.
unless you made it
Exactly.
yourself up until a few years ago, you
Right.
weren't doing any of that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I think this is just my own kind of opinion and things of where the medical world might be going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they recommend less smoking overall down the road, and not because one is so much like edibles work so much better or anything. I just think that long term smoking anything, no matter what it is, it's
You
not,
have to be real
it's
about
not
it.
good for you.
A foreign
So-
substance, smoking. Listen,
Yeah,
common
it's-
sense tell you it's not the healthiest thing.
Yeah, so like
so-
certain patient population. So who knows? Maybe.
But is there anything to the fact that there's anti-cancer properties within cannabis, and if you smoke enough of it, that maybe you're overcoming any type of damage you're doing to your lungs?
I mean, my guess is, I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. I'm not an MD, so I can't. That's something I can't particularly say. But my guess is, if one thing is helping you, it still might be damaging you in another
Sure.
way. It's hard to say. It
Right,
just
right.
is.
I mean, like anything else, it's probably both, right?
Right. There's going to be a balance with it all, obviously, and it's the same thing with anything else. I mean, there's going to be harm effects to using a ton of edibles or something too. I mean, you can use a ton of Tylenol; it's going to hurt your kidneys,
Yeah.
Right.
and your liver at some point. So it's that balance of, and the same thing, like because your tolerance goes up. Would there be certain protocols of like smoke for 2 days, go 1 day off or something? Those are going to be things that are going to be figured out too.
Yeah,